Hey yogis, welcome to my channel. My name is Kassandra and today I'm doing a core and flexibility Vin to Yin yoga class. So Vin to Yin is Vinyasa to Yin Yoga, which means it's a hybrid class. We're going to start off with a really strong core strength Vinyasa flow practice, and then towards the end we're going to wind it down with some longer held passive Yin Yoga asanas in order to increase flexibility, especially in the hips and hamstrings. Now I do need to give a little bit of a disclaimer. Traditionally and technically, you're not supposed to do Yin Yoga after Vinyasa. So if you've studied Yin Yoga, you know that it's better done when your muscles are actually cold. It's more beneficial for your joints. However, to be perfectly honest with you guys, that's just not how I like to practice it myself. So I do Vin to Yin in my home as a home practice pretty much every day, and I much prefer the feeling in my body when I start with Vinyasa and I end in Yin Yoga. But I do want to put the disclaimer out there just because traditionally you should be doing Yin Yoga first. So take it or leave it. Maybe this will work for you, maybe it won't. You'll just have to really pay attention in the Yin Yoga portion to make sure that you're not overstretching or going too far, because that is the risk. Once you're warmed up, sometimes we kind of think we're a little bit more flexible than we really are, and that's how we end up injuring ourselves. Now, I'm not using any props for this practice, but always a good idea to have some blocks, some bolsters, some straps, whatever you have at home, have it somewhere close by. This is a pretty intense practice, the Vinyasa as well as the Yin Yoga portion, so just be prepared. And let's begin sitting. I'm gonna sit kneeling, it's just easier for me, but you can definitely be cross-legged and reach your arms all the way up to the sky, open and spread the fingertips nice and wide, and we're just gonna close and open the hands as much as we can. So starting to warm up into the fingers and into the wrists. So we're doing a lot of different kinds of plank poses and lots of different kinds of core work, and we're really going to want to have our wrists and our forearms warmed up and properly engaged so that there's no pain. So keep going for about 10 more seconds. See if you can speed it up, really close them all the way in, and then reopen the fingers, spreading them wide for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then reach your arms, palms forward, press into the heels, and you can use your left hand to pull the right fingertips back. Keep pushing the heel of the hand forward. Elbows are pretty straight. Just getting a nice stretch here, and then we'll switch sides so you can pull back onto your left fingers. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. And we'll release into your tabletop pose. We'll take one more little wrist stretch here. So tabletop on hands and knees. Just turn the back of your left hand to the mat. Spread the fingertips wide and then rock your weight back slightly. So you should feel this more in the top of the hand and top of the forearm. And you can bend the elbow a little bit. And move to the other side. So the back of your right hand down, spread the fingertips wide. Rock the weight back into your hips. And let's just get right into it. So tabletop pose on hands and knees. Spread your fingertips wide and really press down into your fingertips and knuckles. And you'll probably want to have your knees just a little bit further than your hips, and then tuck your toes under. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. And as you exhale, cat pose, round the spine, chin to chest. So 2 more like this, just cat and cow. Inhale, lift and look up. Exhale, round and contract. Last one. Exhale, round it in. And then we'll add on from here. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. And then exhale, come up into your high plank pose. Spread the shoulder blades nice and wide. So starting to engage our core. Twice more. Inhale, lower the knees, lower the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, push into the tops of the feet or into the balls of the feet and lift up, plank. Once more, inhale, drop the belly, lift, look up. Exhale, high plank pose, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. So this is our first down dog. Go ahead and move the feet, the hips, the head, however you need to. Get comfortable here. Super strong into the arms. Notice if you're lifting your index fingers, try to ground and push into the knuckles. Inhale, forward to plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly and point your toes back once you're there. We'll take 3 little baby cobras. So hands beside the top of the chest, push into the tops of the feet. Inhale, chin, chest, and palms come off the ground. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Exhale, lower down. Twice more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. So this is back strength only. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale to lower, ground your palms, step it back, downward facing dog. Okay, really stoking the fire within, building up our core strength. Reach your right leg up to the sky, bend your right knee, open up that hip, just giving a nice stretch into the hamstring, start to push into your left heel. Straighten and square your right leg, so your thigh, knee, and toes point down to the mat. As you exhale, come forward to plank. Tap your knee to your nose, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, right knee to your right shoulder. Come forward into plank, so keep your hips low. Inhale, reach it up and back. This time we twist. Exhale, right knee over to your left elbow. Hold here. Drop your left heel to the mat. Straighten your right leg and keep your right foot on the ground. You can hold as you are, or you lean onto your right hand and extend your left arm up. This is your laying triangle. Push into the feet to lift the pelvis up. You wanted a strong core practice, so that's what we're gonna do. Press, lift it up a little bit higher. Look down to the mat. Left hand down, step back to plank pose. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Keep your toes tucked under and come up to your upward facing dog. From this upward dog, point and lift your right toes back behind you. Exhale, pull your knee to your nose. Step your right foot forward between the palms, back knee down, low lunge, arms extend up. So low lunge, the rib cage is drawing in, belly is toning back towards the low back, and you're pressing your hips forward and down as you lengthen up through the spine and lengthen up through the arms. 3 deep breaths here. And circle the arms nice and wide. Straighten your right leg and fold, taking a hamstring stretch. So you can definitely keep your right knee generously bent here. If this is challenging or if this pinches your lower back in any way, think of pressing down into your heel and rooting it back towards the sit bone. Spreading the toes nice and wide. And lift and lengthen up. Bend into your right knee again. Curl the back toes under. Lift your back knee off the mat and press your back heel down. So these are like your warrior 1 legs. Your back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Keep your hands low to the mat and just push into your back heel. So we're just trying to stretch into the ankle, into the calf, the Achilles tendon. Right knee is driving directly over that 2nd and 3rd toe. Tone the navel back, keep pushing into the back heel, and then bring your right hand to your right hip, left hand to your left hip, push into the legs and come on up, arms extend up, warrior 1. Bending generously into that right knee. Sinking the hips down, pushing into your back heel, take an inhale, exhale, lower, take your vinyasa, inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's go do that sequence on the other side. Left leg rises, bend your left knee, open up your hip. Push into your right heel. Keep your elbows straight. Straighten and square your left leg so the thigh spirals down. And then exhale, tap your knee to your nose, come forward into your plank pose. Inhale, back to your 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to your left shoulder, squeeze it in. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale to twist, hold it there, left knee to your right elbow. Straighten your left leg, drop your right heel to the mat, lean onto your left hand, right arm up, laying triangle. So the key to this pose is to actively push into the feet in order to lift your pelvis up. Otherwise, it'll be really hard to hold. Keep extending up through your top hand. And look down to the mat. Plank pose. Left foot steps back to meet the right. Exhale, chaturanga. Keep your toes curled under as you lift up to your upward dog. Point your left toes back. Exhale, left knee to your nose, and then step that left foot forward. Right knee down to the floor. We're lifting up to our low lunge on the second side. So even though we're pressing our hips forward and down, we're squeezing into the midline. So core is engaged even in a pose like this. Think of lifting up and out of the lower back. And we'll circle the arms wide, hamstring stretch, half splits, straightening the left leg and folding it down. Lifting up. Start to bend into your left knee, curl the back toes under, and ground your right heel down so the right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Stay low to the mat so you can just come up onto your fingertips or onto your knuckles. Keep that left knee squeezing in and push into your back heel. So just stretching into the Achilles tendon. I find for me this is one of the spots that get the tightest. If you walk or you run a lot, you'll probably notice that as well. So a pose like this and downward dog, of course, can be really effective at stretching it out. Keep the generous bend in your left knee. Just bring your left hand to your left hip, right hand to your right hip. Come up with the chest, and then come up with the arms, warrior one. So everything is facing towards the top of your mat. You're trying to rotate and squeeze the right side body forward. Drop the hips a little bit lower, bending into your front knee. Circle the palms, take your vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, adding on, we've got one more super strong standing flow before we move to our Yin Yoga sequence. Reach your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, pull your knee to your nose, just like what we did before. Keep your hips low. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, right knee to your right shoulder. Inhale, reach it up and back. Listening carefully, exhale, right knee to your left elbow. Drop your left heel to the mat and see if you can keep that right leg off of the floor as you straighten it up, left arm up. So this is just another form of your laying triangle. If it's too hard, keep your right foot on the ground. Otherwise, try to squeeze it up. Push into the feet, lift the pelvis up. Keep your right leg lifted. Left hand down to the mat. Lift the back heel. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Right arm up, right leg up, side plank. So like a starfish pose or starfish version of the side plank. Inhale. Plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same leg rises up, right leg up. Step your right foot forward between the palms. Warrior one legs, ground the back heel, and just come up onto your fingertips. So keep pushing into that back heel, squeezing the legs in. See if you can float the fingertips off the mat and then reach your arms back, palms face down to the floor. Lower belly is hovering off of your thigh. Slow down your breath. Try to find a diagonal line from the crown of the head all the way to your back heel. Bring your hands to your heart. Come all the way up. Straighten your right leg and bring your back foot in a couple inches. So from here, you can either keep your hands at prayer, Folding forward into your pyramid pose. If you want to make it a little trickier, you're going to take reverse prayer. So reverse prayer, you're just bringing your hands in namaste at the back of the heart. Fingers can point up, or you can make it easier by having the fingertips pointing down. Choose the option you want to work with. Keep everything facing forward. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, start to hinge forward from the hips and fold it down. So shoulders and elbows are moving away from the floor. And this is really a transition pose to test our balance. So wherever you are, just lift the chest up an inch or so. Start to bend into your right knee. Keep your arms exactly where they are and transition into your standing splits. Staying in the standing splits, bring your fingertips down to the floor, fold a little deeper. Bending into both knees, bring your big toes together, heels apart, Utkatasana, chair pose. Arms extend up overhead. And we are working our core. Hands come together at the front of the heart. Lower your hips all the way down to the mat. Boat pose. Lift the legs, lift the arms up. Squeeze, low belly in. Cross your right ankle over your left. Plant your palms, downward facing dog. And you can hold down dog, or you can take your flow, inhaling plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. And we'll go do that final sequence over on the left side. Reach your left leg up, and then exhale, pull your left knee to your nose. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, left knee to your left shoulder, squeeze it in. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale to twist. Drop your right heel to the mat. Keep your left leg off of the ground as you extend it straight and reach your right arm up. So laying triangle with the left leg off the mat. Squeeze the inner thighs. Push into your back heel. Keep your left leg up. Bring your right hand to the mat. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Starfish, side plank. Extend the leg and the arms. And try to breathe. Plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Same leg, left leg rises up. Warrior one legs, step it through. Ground your back heel at a 45-degree angle and just come up onto the fingertips. So staying low. Once you have the strength in the legs, you can hover the fingertips off the mat and then extend your arms back, palms facing down. Just notice what's happening to your left knee here. Sometimes it opens up. Keep it hugging in. Use your breath to cool down. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Reach the arms further back. And then bring your hands to your heart. Lift the chest. Straighten the left leg. Bring your back toes in a couple inches. Pyramid pose. Choose if you have your hands at your heart, or you can take reverse prayer. Pressing the elbows back, pushing the palms together. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips and fold. Find the grounding stability from the feet, moving up through the legs into the pelvis. In order to keep your balance, because from here, we're going to transition to our standing splits. So you can lift up a little bit to look forward, Bend into your left knee, transition the weight to your left leg, and we're going to extend the right leg up. A little bit of wobbling is totally normal. Staying in standing splits, bring your fingertips down to the floor, fold a little deeper, and then bend both knees so you can bring your big toes together to touch, heels apart, chair pose. Sinking down in your chair, bring your hands to your heart. We're lowering to boat pose, hips down, legs and arms up, reaching forward. Lift the heart up, cross your left ankle over your right, ground your palms, step back, down dog. This is our last vinyasa. Inhale to plank, exhale chaturanga. Inhale up dog, exhale downward facing dog. And let's start to wind down, coming into our yin practice. Reach your right leg up to the sky, and bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Extend your left leg back. This is pigeon pose, or what we call swan pose in Yin Yoga. So you want to relax the muscles. You can prop yourself up on a block or two, or even on a pillow or a bolster or a blanket, and then fold it down. So Yin Yoga poses are held for at least 2 minutes. We're going to do about 3 minutes per pose per side. And what makes a yin pose different from its yang counterpart is the engagement of the muscles. Basically in yin, we don't want to engage our muscles. We want to relax everything so that the sensation and the stress and the stretch goes to the joints as opposed to the muscle. So relax your chest, your shoulders, your hips, your low back. Simply focus on your breath. And start to lift back up. We'll make our way back, downward facing dog. Just do any little movements here that feel good. Releasing the right hip. And we'll switch sides. Left leg rises up. Bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Extend your right leg further back. Even out the pelvis so you're not leaning on one side more than the other. You can use your props to do this. And then fold it down. And we all tend to have one side that's a little easier than the other. Try not to force your way into the exact same thing you did the first time. If you need to hold back on this side, then do that. This is a receptive type of practice. We are never, ever forcing anything. And let's start to lift back up. So this will be our last time in downward dog. Not here very long, just getting the blood flowing again through that left leg. And then bring your knees down to the mat. We'll open up into a straddle fold. So legs go out wide. If you feel like you're rolling backwards here, you can always sit up on a blanket, on a block, or on a cushion. We want our knees and our toes to be pointing up. As you inhale, lift and lengthen. And on the exhale, make your way into the fold. So remember, this is a passive practice. So I like to turn the palms to face up so I'm not tempted to push and pull my way into the shape. but instead we just let gravity do the work for us. So with every exhale, feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into the shape. Try to relax your legs, your shoulders, your chest. Be as heavy as you can. Use arm strength to very slowly start to lift your way up, walking the hands in inch by inch. And we've been here a while, so you can use your palms to help the knees bend, and we're gonna lower all the way down to our backs. So 2 more Yin Yoga poses. I'm just gonna move my microphone. Lower and make your way down. And just pull both knees into the belly and give it a big squeeze. And keep your right knee in, extend your left leg out to the floor. Taking a twist here, you're gonna cross your right knee over the chest, over to your left, and reach your right arm out to the side. So you're welcome to stay here. If you'd like to make this pose a little bit deeper for the IT band and the hamstrings, you can straighten your right leg and maybe hold on to the shin or the foot or the thigh. You can even use a strap, trying to keep the foot lower to the ground and pulling it in. One of my favorite poses, but it is quite intense. So make sure you're still able to ground the right shoulder. So we'll start to unwind from this pose. Bend into your right knee. See if you can keep a hold of that foot with your palm. We're gonna roll onto our backs, and before we go and do this pose on the other side, we're gonna take reclined shoelace. So right thigh is wrapping over the left one. Hold on to both feet with your palms, and you're flexing the feet, trying to stack one knee over the other, pulling the feet apart and dragging the thighs into the chest. So this is like Gomukhasana, cow face pose that we normally do seated. We're just doing it reclined. So the legs don't have to work quite as much. It's a little easier on the joints. And let's release, uncross the legs, pull both knees into the belly. And then the left thigh will stay in, extend your right leg straight out to the floor. And let's take our twist. So you can cross your left knee over to the right and extend your left arm out to the side. And if you did it on the first side, go deeper by straightening the left leg again and maybe holding on to the shin, the calf, the ankle, whatever is in grabbing distance. And start to bend into your left knee. Roll onto your back and keep your left leg crossing over the right one. Stacking your left knee over the right, holding onto the feet and drawing it in. Reclined shoelace pose. And let's release to unwind. We'll come into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up space with the arms and the legs. Turn your palms facing up. And just let yourself fully relax from this practice. Let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. Start to breathe a little bit deeper, wiggling fingers and toes or turning the head side to side. You can reach your arms up overhead, taking a great big stretch. And we'll make our way to take a seat. Eyes can stay closed as you do this. Just sit up in any way that's comfortable for you at this moment. Hands can rest on the knees or join together at the front of the heart. And we'll close our practice with the chant of Om one time. Inhaling to chant, breathe in. Om. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this Yin to Yin practice with me. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like more classes of this style on my channel, please let me know. Right now I have hundreds of Vinyasa classes and Yin Yoga classes, but I think this is the first time I've actually paired them up together. So I would love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below. And if you don't already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out new free full-length yoga classes every single Thursday. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.